Hi, everybody. Well, we're talking about some extreme gusty winds hitting the Las Vegas Valley. It knocked over trees, and right now it's delaying a lot of flights. Your weather authority has more on how long those conditions will last.
And new developments in a bizarre tragedy. A young woman's sudden death in a hotel casino laundry chute. What a police report reveals minute by minute.
I had tears in my eyes, and I was watching, just praying that she was not going to hurt anybody.
And a carjacking victim speaks out after watching her new pickup truck become the subject of a high-speed chase on live television.
News 3 starts right now.
A high wind warning hitting southern Nevada with gusts up to 60 miles an hour expected. A live look at McCarran Airport, where flights are delayed coming in, going at least 53 minutes. That's according to the FAA and FlightAware.com.
You've probably noticed there aren't as many planes in the sky right now. The skies are quiet, but we're told flights are still landing and taking off. So if you're flying out or picking up a loved one, you should call your airline first, because once again, delays of up to 53 minutes out at McCarran International.
The wind is causing problems on the ground as well. We have team coverage tonight on the weather. Thank you for joining us. I'm Marie Mortera.
I'm Reed Cowan. News 3's Kelsey Thomas is live out where home near Lake Mead in Hollywood has experienced some damage due to some gusty winds. But first, meteorologist Jerry Brown standing by to give us a first look at when those breezy conditions will let up.
Well, Reed, we've got at least a couple more hours of really intense winds before they start to diminish. Let me just show you. This is an amazing time lapse as I put it in motion from really just before sunrise and throughout the day. Look at the total valley completely obscured by the blowing dust. Horrible if you have respiratory problems. We actually had a little moisture here in the valley, 5/100ths in Spring Valley at Gwynn Middle. Currently south-southwest winds at 24. They gusted earlier to 58 miles an hour. Currently temperatures in the upper 50s. At the Las Vegas RV Park, a north-northeast wind at 26, a 62-mile-an-hour wind gust earlier. This is at St. Rose and Las Vegas Boulevard. So these are the windiest conditions we've had in 4 years. Last time it was this windy was March of 2012. Current wind gusts so far, the heaviest have been generally in the southeast Valley Mountains edge, 62 miles an hour. But you can see approaching 50 miles an hour in Summerlin, and those wind gusts should be increasing over the next hour or two. I'm looking at some higher wind speeds. Sustained winds, we're getting winds in the 20 to 25 mile an hour range easily. Around southern Nevada, you can see some current wind speeds, not quite as bad as what we've had here in the valley, but you can look at some of these wind gusts, 53 miles an hour down in Spring Valley. So here's the deal. The wind warning in effect until 3 a.m. I think the heaviest winds probably between now and 9 p.m. and then they'll start to diminish. But this storm system's fairly slow moving. You can see it's a real potpourri of weather. We've got snow, we've got rain, and of course we have those intense winds. It's not quite as ominous as it looks, judging from our surface reports, but there's plenty of moisture in the area, and we are looking at a few showers overnight and noticeably cooler with temperatures getting down into the 40s. Well, that's it here from the studio, but let's go over and see what conditions are like in the East Valley with Kelsey Thomas.
Well, Jerry, you're talking about all that wind, and of course that means lots of damage across the valley. If you think it was bad that your patio furniture was flying around this afternoon, think again. Take a look at this. This is incredible. A massive eucalyptus tree has uprooted in this family's backyard. We are near Hollywood and Lake Mead. Come take a look over here. You can see where the tree actually came crashing down in the backyard. Not only that, some of the branches went into a kid's playroom. Luckily, though, those kids were not in the playroom at the time. Here's what their mom, Allie, had to say just a few minutes ago.
Not a lot of hard damage, but it was crazy to watch the tree just come down in slow motion right there where your daughter plays every day. So thankful and surprised, and yeah, I didn't realize it was going to be that windy.
She said her 3-year-old daughter was playing in there just a few minutes before that tree came crashing down. Well, now the guy from the tree service is out here. They're trying to get rid of this tree. Not only that, they're concerned with some other trees right now in their front yard, especially because we're going to see more winds later on tonight. Reporting live tonight, Kelsey Thomas, News 3.
And we are wishing them a very safe night. And really, for the rest of the valley, that wish is extended. Kelsey, thank you for that. Now, we want to take it to social media now, where people are just posting more images of the damage around town. You see those trees toppled over in several neighborhoods throughout our valley. And then there's all of the dust as well. Our Jerry Brown touched on this a moment ago, but look at these images, dust filling the skies. And that's why so many people are just concerned about what they might be breathing in.
And you know, all of that wind and blowing dust is not helping when it comes to dealing with springtime allergies. How are you doing at home? A lot of people saying they're sneezing, coughing, itchy eyes, taking out their contacts and going for the glasses. With high winds kicking up a lot of dust in our air, the result could be even more irritating in the hours to come. In fact, specialists say allergy season doubles their usual workload.
Especially in younger children and in older adults, they can have more respiratory issues, and that could send them, into having like pneumonia, bronchitis.
So it would be wise, if you suffer from allergies already, make sure to not spend too much time outside and try to stay out of those windy elements. For up-to-the-minute weather news, be sure to follow us on the web and on Facebook, Twitter, and of course our website, news3lv.com.
The Southern Nevada Health District has confirmed a second case of Zika in Clark County. This caseload could rise as health experts say there are also about 20 local patients waiting for test results to come back to confirm whether they have the disease or not. The two people, a young man and woman who have contracted the disease, had recently traveled to areas affected by the Zika virus. Health officials say the mosquito that carries the virus has not been found here, and the focus is to make sure they stay clear of our valley.
A North Las Vegas man accused of kidnapping teenage girls and holding them as sex slaves appeared in court for the first time since he backed out of a plea deal. Jimmy Carter Kim was supposed to plead guilty to 4 counts of involving sexual assault with a minor. Well, today he pled not guilty to more than 80 charges stemming from what prosecutors say were 2 incidents involving young girls. Well, police say he kidnapped the girls and held them in his father's home. We're told Kim will be back in court next week so a judge can set his trial date.
A Las Vegas man has pleaded guilty to a deadly DUI that killed a man on the side of the US 95 freeway. Prosecutors said 24-year-old Gary Adair Jr. will face 4 to 10 years in prison following his plea. 38-year-old Kadar Brown was struck and killed while changing a flat tire on US 95 in March of 2014. Meanwhile, the victim's grandmother, Lindona Thompson, pleaded no contest to misdemeanor battery for attacking Adair in the hallways of the courthouse last November. A judge fined Thompson $100 and sent her to impulse control classes.
More details tonight surrounding the death of a young woman who fell down a laundry chute at the D Resort in downtown Las Vegas.
26-year-old Kaylee Medina was in town celebrating her 27th birthday when the accident happened. News 3's Sergio Avila has more on what the police report says on the bizarre tragedy.
An incident report released by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department reads that at 2:11, the morning of February 21st, Kali Medina Brown was seen on surveillance video in the stairwell of the 16th floor of the D Hotel and Casino. 17 minutes later, she would be found dead in a laundry bin.
We were a family. I mean, we were family.
Medina Brown's best friend Sierra Roraback and Carly Worrell tell us that they hope Medina Brown did not suffer.
I just ask God that she didn't hurt, that she wasn't scared, or just that she didn't feel alone or helpless.
The report says surveillance video shows that at 2:12, 1 minute after she was first spotted, Medina Brown is seen on the 18th floor, headed to the laundry room. Police tell us she went in alone. At 2:22, the report states her husband is seen going into the couple's room on the 16th floor. According to the report, at 2:28 a.m., a porter in the laundry room heard a thud and found her lifeless body in a laundry bin. A police investigation found no criminality in her death.
Sergio Avila reporting there. Meanwhile, the owner of a stolen truck is shaken up after watching her new vehicle become the subject of a dramatic high-speed chase on live television. Well, she says what started as a woman stealing her truck right out of the driveway escalated into that chase through a neighborhood. The owner of the truck called 911, and because she left her phone in the truck, she was able to track it with the Find My iPhone app. The chase came to an end when the carjacker spun out and attempted to jump into the driver's side of the police cruiser before being tackled by officers there on the ground. The truck's owner says as she watched the chase play out on live television, she was hoping that no one would be hurt.
She put it in drive and drove towards me very fast, and so I got out of the way. I just was screaming at her to stop. I had tears in my eyes, and I was watching, just praying that she was not going to hurt anybody.
Report to you where this happened. It happened in Simi Valley, California, Well, we're hearing that after officers tackled the alleged carjacker, she was taken to a hospital. Police say no injuries were reported in the initial carjacking. Wow.
The nation's Capitol building put on lockdown today after a shooting. Authorities say a Tennessee man, Larry Russell Dawson, entered the Capitol Visitor Center and set off the metal detector. Dawson then allegedly pulled out his gun and pointed it at an officer. That's when U.S. Capitol Police shot Dawson, placed him into custody, and took him to the hospital. Authorities say a woman was also injured by shrapnel. Congressional staffers were sent to notice to shelter in place, instructing them to lock doors until the lockdown was lifted.
Well, as the investigation pushes forward into those Brussels terror attacks, families of victims continue to mourn.
The official number of Americans killed in the attacks has increased as protests erupted at a memorial site over the weekend. Reed Binion shows us the unrest.
The State Department said Sunday that 4 Americans were killed in last week's terror attacks in Brussels. President Obama called the parents of 2 of the victims, Justin and Stephanie Schultz. The Tennessee couple killed in the airport attack had lived in Belgium since 2014. They were dropping off Stephanie's mother, who survived. Justin's uncle reacted to the news of his nephew's death.
All I could do was cry. He hated no one. He would friend anyone in the world. I mean, he was just that kind of person.
As families mourned, a vigil Sunday in Brussels was disrupted by anti-immigrant protesters. The demonstrators stormed the memorial, some carrying banners, others raising their arms in Nazi salutes. Upsetting gestures of aggression, especially for family members of those killed and injured in the attacks.
When you see this, you know what I mean? It's not normal. My daughter, don't have legs.
There were minor scuffles as some people trampled flowers and balloons. Then cheers as police briefly used water cannons on the demonstrators. A peace march had been planned for Easter but was postponed amid concerns as the investigation continues. Police carrying out 13 raids and taking 9 people in for questioning Sunday. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Wow.
All right, let's bring you back here at home now, where the big question, another big question here in Las Vegas is, could we be one step closer to an NFL team?
A lot of people talking about it. The chances of a new proposed stadium deal becoming a reality for one team right here in Southern Nevada.
And a store clerk risks his life after a robber holds him up at gunpoint. How the tables have quickly turned.